hit live on the IG. I'll hit live on the IG.
No, I can't do it yet.
It's coming. I'm waiting for it. I'm looking at it. There we go. All right. We have the country's best real estate wholesaling sales coach in the building. Steve, let me get this in one more group. Let me get this in one more group. How to buy better deals. Steve-O, I had 2 sales reps last week, and I just let go of the last one today.
Let go of the last one, so you let both of them go already?
One of them left like a couple days in because he said he needed money because I did commission only. And I was like, okay, that's understandable. And then the other one, yesterday, he said he had someone who wanted to go, like one of his family members was in a state championship all day and he wanted to go to that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I mean, and he told me same day. I was like, and then he didn't work any leads over the weekend. And I was like, honestly, bro, if you're telling me you need money, but then you're going to go to a state championship on a Monday and you don't work any leads over the weekend, we're probably just not a good fit for you.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I was like, I mean, because like, yeah, like he was getting really good on the phones. He was getting better. He was going to probably get his first contract this week. Last week was like his first week on the phones. And yeah, I mean, that for me culturally, and these were like young men, right? Mm-hmm. If you're a young man and you need money, there should be no family activities. There should be nothing besides making phone calls.
Yeah, but this goes back to there's a couple different things, right? There's the ownership, right? Who owns the book of business?
He does own the book of business. But still, I want great people who work great books. We can't keep someone like that around.
I know, but mentally, did he own it?
How else was I supposed to get him to own it? If we told him it's his book of business.
Yeah, we told him, right? I mean, it's the same thing as sales. I just say tell you something doesn't mean it's true.
Right.
You have to say it. You have to own it. You have to want it.
Yeah, and I just didn't think he wanted it.
Right. But did you go into his why? What's his purpose?
I mean, his purpose is to, at this point, just to make more money because he's broke.
Well, that's not good enough why. Making money is not a why. Making money is a means to accomplishing something. So the people that this is theoretical, right? I can't prove this. I haven't done research. Have not been backed by any particular colleges about this, right? Universities. But the amount of people that want to do something for financial reasons and financial reasons alone, I think we're talking like maybe 2 or 3% of the population. Maybe, right? There has to be a purpose behind it. So those of us that can do something for just purely financial reasons, we're just extra broken, right? Like people like you, people like me, that will just do things for financial reasons. It's because we haven't gotten clear on our purpose. We're too young, too dumb, right? But we know we want something, and so we'll go for it. But most people, financial reasons is not enough. It's the reason why they fizzle out. It's the reason why they quit. It's because it's too hard. So there has to be a greater purpose. I mean, the case in point for me, I always make the joke, right? Like most people want to get rich. Like I want a 6-pack. Like I want it. It's cool. But man, like I'm clearly not doing the work to get a 6-pack. And so
I'll give you that. I don't know. You said like I got to get down to their why. But then
not
for
their why,
me,
not their why, their purpose. I've kind of just given up on finding people's whys. You got to find their purpose, and the only reason why is that a why is something I'm learning right in the last few months. A why is a past question. There's never a why in the future. It's always a why in the past. Like, what's your why? I don't want my kids to be hungry like I was. I don't want my kids to struggle for things, right? Like, what's my why, right? Past trauma, whatever, right? It's not aspirational. It's like to run away from something. So I like to ask, like, what's your epic life goal? What is your purpose? What are you trying to accomplish? What's important to you? And a lot of your past is gonna be tied to it, but there's like hope. Whereas your why is generally like to create a better life for my kids. But why? Because your life
But
sucks.
am I wrong for just holding the standard? Like,
Yes.
you know,
Yes, because it's cold and sanitized.
I don't think the best entrepreneurs in the world who've came before us have cared about being cold.
But
I
you're not
think
hiring
they've cared about.
entrepreneurs. You're hiring team members.
But then even the entrepreneurs who led those team members had very clear standards that needed to be met.
Right. But they also hired the best. Are you hiring Google employees?
Fair enough.
Right? We're hiring off of freaking Facebook ads. Come on. Like,
Yeah.
we're not like, so I had another coach, right? Larry Ash. And so have you read Multipliers?
Yeah.
Right? Great book, right? Great in theory. So I asked him, like, hey, everything you teach me about how to run a team doesn't quite align with all these different books I'm reading on leadership. Why is that? It's like, well, yeah, you can create a vacuum for people to fail if there are people that will rise up to the occasion. If you have the best of the people applying for you,
Yeah. If you have actual good talent who can step up.
yeah, right. But you're hiring 100% commission people. You're hiring, you're not hiring guys that graduated from Ivy League colleges, right? Like, as much as I can't stand Ivy League colleges, like, you do have to be a certain caliber to graduate an Ivy League college, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we can say like the standards are the standards, and I expect you to rise to them. But the other thing too that sucks is that you have to develop your people. You have to develop your people. Even something I saw recently, right? Even if you hire the best, you still have to develop them. I can't hire Stratton Brown to run my organization tomorrow and then be hands off. Right? There's still like a year of us working together to understand your rhythms, my rhythms, what expectations are, this and that. And so you have to still develop the young guys. And if you're hiring someone 100% commission, found you on social media,
I knew it was gonna be tough anyways, right?
Yeah.
Because I thought I had two really great guys. And again, I think they were both really good. One of them was like, hey bro, I need money right now. I was like, all right, cool, go do your thing, bro. The other
good for you.
Huh?
They might be good, but not good for your situation.
Yeah. And so I think I'm gonna go with like doing like a 2K base pay. Because I feel like I can control the standard more. Because like, yeah, I get it's your book of business, but I feel like at the same time to hold them accountable when that, even if it's a little drip of money that's coming in, that's very important to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we did that for a bit. We stopped doing that.
2K base pay for the first 2 months, and then after that is commission only.
Yeah, we were doing 2,500. We just stopped doing that. And basically, for us to offer you something, has to be like, I would like be genuinely sad I didn't get the person.
That's what I thought. I was like, bro, you want me to pay you, but at the same time, like, you got to go eat what you kill, and like, you have to prove to me that you're even worth any money. This is sales.
Yeah, so it sucks, right? Because like, who are you going to hire? Like, you're hiring generally, again, off of social media. Like, you're going to hire people that don't necessarily have the savings, right? So you have to give them something. I completely get that, and that's who we hire. That's who we hire. Maybe you have to give them a base. Maybe it's a draw. I don't know.
And I was going to do a draw, not like a base, but I'll give you a 2K draw for 2 months, and then after that, you're just commission only. To where I feel like that's fair.
Yeah, I think so.
But then I was like, if I'm gonna hire someone like that, I might as well just hire overseas because I know how to hire overseas really well, and I can save myself some money
if they're good enough.
And I'm very confident we've hired on extremely competent people who've closed deals for us in another company that I think was a harder sale.
Yeah, I mean, if you think you can get that talent, right, who can handle the objections, who can understands the colloquialism, the mannerisms, the culture, that's always the key.
Yeah, and we'd be hiring from South America anyways. We wouldn't be hiring from the Philippines. So I'm not worried about that. Yeah, that's what I'm running into. Like, am I just being cheap? Because like I do want the best talent. Obviously, at the beginning, you don't want to shell out too much cash.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you're a salesman, you're a salesman, and you should have confidence in yourself that you can go throw down.
Just confidence in your confidence in yourself, but you still need to learn the process. You still need to learn the skills, right? I mean, like,
I don't think I'm being unreasonable by saying this shit is not complicated and it should not take long to learn the skills in the process.
so we just had our 2-day event, right? We just had our 2-day training event. And I think we probably went deeper at this event than we've ever gone in any of our live events, right? 2 full days from 9 a.m. till like 5 something, right? With a 30-minute lunch both days. And we had people that came who had been coaching for 6 months. And they came. And even then they're like, yeah, like there's some deep stuff, you know? And it was really cool because Ian's the other coach, we were talking afterwards, like, we have forgotten how much we've learned, right? So when someone that comes brand new who doesn't have our sales process,
Fair enough.
it's pretty tough. But specifically the parts about the things you're doing that are costing you to sell, right? It's not about learning the script. It's about not saying the stupid things that cost you money. That's the hardest part.
Because like I look, and maybe it's I pay the base so I get a higher caliber person. Because I know if I go into any type of industry, I can go in and I can sell.
Yeah, you can.
And then you will be at up to 70% within 2 weeks. That's just kind of like we're not selling complex, really long enterprise software deals that require 3 different inputs and it's solving a massive problem.
Have you found that you have your best luck selling homeowners when you can see the world through their eyes?
I mean, I feel like I see all the world through their eyes. That's my job.
So why wouldn't you do the same with your sales guys?
I don't want to hire someone who doesn't have that type of confidence.
You can hire the confidence, but then you can have a confident idiot.
I'll take the fucking confident idiot, bro. That's me. You know, like I'm just a confident dude who's just gonna go fucking make it happen.
Yeah, because you're resourceful. Again, so it goes back to what I was talking about Larry Ash, right? It's like you're leading people how you want to be led. And if you're leading people that are like you, they're not going to stick around. They don't need you to figure it out. So if they're resourceful and figure things out and they're driven and they're motivated, why would they work for you?
I would say, number one, my vision is bigger and I can create more opportunities for them than they could create for themselves.
Until they have the skills to be you. And then they go work on their own.
Oh, so I think about the dude down in San Diego who's doing like 50 million a year.
Who's that?
Is that Phil?
Phil?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If I can create, I'm like, hey, I could create something like that. I can create more opportunity for you right now than you could going and doing this shit and banging your head up against the wall for 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can create that opportunity for them, right? And they can create that vision.
Bro, if I'm getting them 5 leads a day. Like,
we go back to why are they working? And we haven't answered that question yet. Like, what's your big, hairy goal? What is
our big, hairy goal is to net $1 million in 5 months.
Their goal. What is their goal?
And they wanted to do $100,000 in the first year.
For what?
What do you mean for what?
It's not about the money. For what? To do what? To accomplish what? Is it so they can finally, I mean, these are younger dudes, maybe they can finally take girls on nice dates. Maybe they can get a nice car to attract attention. Maybe it's to live in a nicer neighborhood so they don't have to, like, you know, live in an apartment in the less desirable part of town. For what?
Fair enough. Dive more into the why. Why can't everybody just think like me and be like, hey, we're here to fuck shit up. I don't need a why. I would like to make more money. And I would like to build something really cool.
Because not everyone's wired. Not The people that are wired like us, like I said, we are extra broken. We're not the normal ones. You're expecting people to be like you. Most people go to college. Most people get a 9 to 5. Most people didn't play D1 or whatever you were at Fresno State. Most people didn't try out for the Seahawks.
Hey, I'm a professional athlete, Steven. Don't you
Me
ever
too.
fucking
I
forget
get
it,
it.
bro.
Me too.
Don't you ever forget. I'm a professional athlete.
Me too.
I'm still technically a free agent, bro.
Hey, I will sign with anybody. I've said I'll fight. I'll fight Mike Tyson. I'll fight Jake Paul. I don't care. Right? Um, but most people aren't you.
Because I thought I set up like a really good culture at the beginning. But at the same time, your first hire isn't going to be like the ones who are going to stick with you.
Nope. I've burned a lot of good people.
And so elaborate on that. You've burned a lot of good people. You just think you're the one who fucked it up at the beginning?
Oh, 100%. My first hire was like the best hire. She was incredible. And then I burned her out. Right? And then I sucked after that. Everyone else I hired after that for a while like sucked. Um so I managed to get it right a few times. But yeah, like leading people how they want to be led, it's a challenge, right? Because you have to meet everyone where they are, and everyone's different, right? I have more social employees. I have to be nicer. I have to smile more. I have to ask how they're doing.
You have to talk.
I have to talk. And then I got other people that are like, just get out of my way. Like, who do we need to close today? Right? I have other people that are not allowed to talk to other people. They're just antisocial, right? And so we just stick them in the corner. It's like, all right, just work on your stuff, right? And just say the work is quality. That's it. So like you have to lead everyone how they want to be led.
So, and for me, that goes to everybody is not treated the same, but everybody is treated fair.
Exactly.
Right. And so I have nothing against that. For me, it's withholding a standard of excellence and a mentality and a culture and not budging on that while still treating everybody fairly.
Don't deviate from that, right? The standard's the standard. Don't deviate from that. That's great. That's powerful. Just you have to help people to understand what the standards are and then help them reach the standards. And part of helping them reach the standards are finding people that are plugging into their purpose. You can get, I mean, it's the same mantra, right? You can get more out of what you can catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar. I think that's the expression.
Yeah.
Right. Like you got to find people, but you also got to not motivate them, but help them uncover what their inspiration is. Right. Like,
well, we don't hire unmotivated people. We just hire motivated people from the beginning. That way we don't have to motivate. And I got that from you.
Yes, I completely agree. Right. I mean, that's Jim Collins, right? We hire people that come with batteries included. And even if we hire people with batteries included, we still need to help them refine the skills, fix their mindset from time to time, right? Like there are people that can't remove their emotions before they get in the door. We have to explain to them. You have to like be a professional when the lights are on, right? You have to coach people through. I mean, look, you and I, we've worked together for 5 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you not a more refined individual than you were when we first started working together?
I would say significantly more, yes.
Right. And so you've worked with myself. You've worked with a lot of other people, Mark Evans. You surround yourself with incredible thought leaders within the industry. Just like you 5 years ago needed someone to lift you up, you need to lift the people up that work for you.
But I didn't feel like I wasn't doing that. Right? Like we're doing sales calls 2 times a day. How are you doing? I'm doing the raw stuff. We're watching motivational videos.
Yeah. Screw the rah stuff. I don't do that.
I think having like playing some good old school Ed Milet or some Joe Dispenza is needed. I think that's for me. I want that to be a part of my culture because I want them to better themselves.
Sure. Okay, keep doing that. Either way, it's figuring out their purpose. I think is key.
1 minute, Steve-O. My camera froze. There we go.
Either way, you still have to cover their inner purpose, right? Like maybe they want to retire their mom. Status, right? Whatever they want to accomplish. How does hitting the phones? This goes back to what we were saying, right? They want to take the day off, spend time with their family at some event, right? Okay, so does going to this event, taking the entire day off, not hitting the phones, does that help you get closer to A, B, and C?
Do I even need to have that conversation though?
Yeah.
I guess oh my god, I just hate babysitting. That's why I hated Call Magicians though, because we had so many fucking employees. I was like, no, you should be smarter than this. Like, you don't watch porn at work when your screen is being recorded, dude. Just use your phone.
That's Darwin, right? I mean, he helped you fire him. It's great,
right? I mean, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so I guess that was a little bit of a setback. We'll hire on more people. Mm-hmm. Why don't you think I should go with the base pay? Well, a draw.
Because you can find people that don't. So I think like the draw makes sense. The way I've looked at it recently is like if I want to hire a guy who's making $10K a month, right? And I just assume everyone's living paycheck to paycheck, doesn't matter how much money you make. Then if I want a guy of that caliber, I'm gonna have to help him subsidize his lifestyle for a bit, right? But he's accustomed to a certain lifestyle, and I want him because I know he'll make a difference. He'll make an impact from day one. The person I can hire for $2K draw, I don't know what kind of impact they can make on day one.
Fair enough. Like it's a nominal amount of money to where the gap between that and the person who's commission only, we're going to have to develop them anyways. We might as well not even fucking do it.
Kind of where my head's at today, yeah.
Because Gary Harper says you're going to have to pay everybody. Mm-hmm. He was like, because you're training them to be an entrepreneur from the get-go. But like I think of like the best sales industries, and door-to-door to me is like the premier sales industry, and then even like high-end tech sales.
Yeah.
They're both commission only. Mm-hmm. Like the best of the best in the tech world are selling commission only. Door-to-door sales, dudes making $1 million a year, they started off not making anything.
Right.
So that's why, yeah, I mean, and then it goes into like, yeah, well, you do want them to build their own book of business. Mm-hmm. You're an entrepreneur.
Yeah. So right now, everyone on a sales team right now is 1099, no base.
1099, no base. I guess I'm just going to start running ads again. Because I was doing 10%.
10% what?
Commission only, 10%.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're spending money to get leads.
Right?
Yeah.
But I refuse to hire someone who doesn't have experience in the game, though. I think because that is a learning curve. Like that will take me 3 to 6 months to get them up to speed on how it works. To where if I can take someone and they just worked for a shittier company, or they got fired, and like maybe I can help them grow a little bit more. Because I'm all about developing the people into being the best that they can possibly be. I feel like when I worked for Alan, if someone works for us for 2 years, that's a W for me. And when they came in, I told them, if you ever end up leaving our company, I want it to be if someone knows you worked for us, you get a job automatically because they know how fucking well we are at training our people and developing you. You'll have all the skills you need to be successful. Like that is my vision. That's always been my vision in all my companies.
I love it. I think that's fantastic.
Draws can be a crutch, according to Shanae.
Yeah,
just her humble opinion.
Yeah, we ran into that as well. They're just not like they don't need it. It sucks, right? Like if you're living with mom, right, $2K a month, you don't really have to work.
That's very true.
I made a comment the other day. I was thinking about you here, right? It was a training call, and the objection was like, yeah, like they want over market, but you know they're in foreclosure. I was like, So they can't make their payments. They're out of money. Like, yeah, but they want to sell the house over market. Yeah, and the banks like foreclosing on them. They're like, yeah. I was like, okay, well, keep working because they're motivated. Like, but they want market value, over market. I was like, well, the person that wants over market value on a house that they can't even make payments on, it's kind of like a dude that's like 5'5", lives with his mom, and says they only date supermodels.
Beta males get no bitches.
Yeah.
Is that the line you thought of, Steve?
Well, I mean, I just thought about like, yeah, I think Stratton would be better right now.
I mean, and those people, like, you just got to keep working them because, especially if it's a pre-foreclosure lead, they're just going to bury their head into the sand until the last week, and then they're going to reach out to you and be like, "Hey, can you save me?"
Mm-hmm.
With those types of people,
right? Yeah. So yeah, that's we got a lot of clients in our program right now who are dealing with a lot of pre-foreclosures, which makes sense. Like it's a great business.
We're dealing with a lot of inherited stuff for some reason. All right, so I'm gonna keep going commission. I'm glad we got on this call because I was thinking about doing a draw. But I see your point. So like, bro, if you're gonna do a draw, a meaningful draw would be like $7,000.
Yeah.
To where like you get someone who's really talented.
Mm-hmm. Who's talented, who's got bills to pay, who's got a wife who likes nice things, right? Who's used to going to Europe once a year. That guy can get a draw. Because if he doesn't sell for you, his wife's going to be up his butt.
Right. Then I was thinking like
the $2K a month guy, if he's not making sales, his mom's going to be like, hey, why aren't you doing anything meaningful?
Because I do need sales reps to hit my goal. There's just so much that has to be done and so many leads that we need to work. Abe said, just joined. Curious why you don't hire W-2 plus commission. And I know Abe has gone through Josh and Tiff's stuff. W-2 plus I think a fucking base is stupid in sales.
I don't think it's stupid. It's just it depends on like how you want to run your business, right? Like, I think I like the commission only for the hunters, for acquisition guys. I mean, maybe you do W-2 plus commission for the dispo guys, right? Because they're more relationship heavy. But
yeah.
the hunters want to eat what they kill. And that's the reason why. Like the hunters, the acquisition guys. And look, here's the thing that's funny, right? I don't think the acquisition manager is the most important person in the business, right? I think probably the lead manager is more important. Yeah. But the acquisition manager is the diva. He wants to let everyone know how much money they make. And so that's
the leads manager really is the most important because they're pushing it all forward because nothing's really going to close day one. Everything else needs to be pushed forward and followed up with.
Yeah. So, but the acquisition manager wants to make the most amount of money. And if they want to make the most amount of money, then they got to be commission only.
I mean, because like if I was going to do a base W-2, and I wonder what do you know what Josh and Tiffany pay their people base?
I have no idea.
But I think they have 2 reps and like 3 leads managers. Mm-hmm. And then they have a ton of different marketing channels. And then I think they have like 1 or 2 dispo people. And they do like $3 million a year.
Yeah,
I just think about like working back my margins. It's like $2,500 a month in a base. I think that's kind of.
I think you got to look at it. There's a couple different things, right? Like what I'm prescribing is myself. But not everyone wants to run a business the same way we want to run a business, right? Like if you run a relationship heavy business, right?
For sure, need a base. You need a base.
Easily, right? Yeah. Like I think that makes sense. But if you're just like strictly transactional, right, where it's just just marketing only, and then like your guys are fine with feast or famine, I think commissions only. But if you have guys that require more stability and they're not as money motivated, because remember, like not everyone's money motivated. So if you have guys on your team that are not money motivated and they're okay with making less per year as long as they have a higher base, that's fine. If that's a culture fit for you.
Yeah, because I don't think that's the culture fit I want. I'm still young. I want young men buying Rolexes and making terrible financial decisions. I want young men flexing and buying nice cars. Like I want them to feel that. I don't want someone who's like, oh yeah, I just want to be comfortable. Like that's just not the culture I'm trying to build. Maybe that's toxic of me.
No, I don't think it's toxic. I think everyone should build a business based off their personality. There's like you go to Collective Genius, right? There's hundreds of people in there now. Between Premier and Select, there's hundreds of people in there, and no one runs their business exactly the same.
Yeah,
right? There's nuances, there's differences, right? Some are very, some are all. A lot of them are very heavy inbound, but some are still outbound, right? Some are relationship heavy, some are acquisition heavy. Some flip, some wholesale, right? Some keep everything. Some dispo to flippers, some dispo to turnkey guys. Like your business model is going to be really or your personality is going to have a very, very large imprint on your business model.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably not taken into consideration enough.
Fair enough. I mean, because like I'd say the battle I always have is convincing myself that I'm not crazy.
You are crazy.
No, I'm perfectly fine.
You're
I just need to.
crazy.
I need to attract my people. Like that's all it is. There's other people like me.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But you're crazy, just like I'm crazy. Just like Dean's crazy.
Sleepy Dean.
Yeah,
that's his new nickname.
Or RJ. How many RJ baits are there out there? He's got to be one of one. He's a lunatic.
I don't know. That's giving RJ a lot of credit, bro. Telling someone they're one of one.
I mean, how many people are actively live with whatever those Viking helmets are, an axe and a stein in the other hand? Like, I just, how many people can you picture? And like after like finishing a stein, like slamming the axe and the stein together as it shatters, and then probably still drinking the beer.
That's a flex. That's a hell of a flex. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Do you have any disposition scripts?
We've got talking tracks. We don't really have.
It's a lot more of a sales process than I thought. I've never had to sell to cold buyers. I know everybody I've ever had to sell to where in these markets, like when we were trying to sell to Detroit, bro, that was like pulling teeth.
Yeah, I got something. I can send something to you.
Yeah, if you could send something to me on that, awesome. Because like we have Kalani's working dispositions, and we're gonna list everything on MLS moving forward. But when we were just using Investor Lift and Facebook groups, it's still a grind. Like in these markets that aren't necessarily hot markets, it's a fucking grind, bro. I'm used to California. If it's a deal, it's a deal, and they take it sight unseen.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about the West Coast, right?
Yeah,
we
bro,
got a deal.
It's a deal. Like, wait, I'll take it.
Investor Lift, it's done.
Yes.
Does not require a lot of sales skills. If it's a deal, it's done.
Exactly. To where everything else, because we have a bunch of stuff on like the East Coast and Midwest. Bro, there's so many deals. The buyers are picky. It's bananas to me. So like I've had to, because I was like locking stuff up California wise. Like, yeah, bro, it's a deal. It'll work. Where the buyers out there like, no, I'd never do that. And so we've just had to go back to a bunch of price reductions. We've got some of them. But yeah, the West Coast is nice that way. To where if the numbers make sense, bro, buyers are just trained to be like, all right, I'll do it. Let's get it done. Where do I send the EMD?
Yeah, because they've been traumatized this whole time.
Right? Of just losing out on deal after deal after deal.
Yeah.
To where everybody now wants like a walkthrough. Like, bitch, a walkthrough. I've never done walkthroughs. Like, what do you mean a fucking walkthrough?
Yeah, you can do a walkthrough after you deposit earnest money.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking insane to me. But yeah, I'd say that's been my biggest learning curve as of late has been the dispo side. Because it's been so easy for me to sell deals when we have done it. Oh, I have a call, and I'll preface it with you. I talked to her about her pain. I got her asking price, and then I essentially transitioned it off a script. And I was like, honestly, ma'am, if it sat on the market all last year, you got multiple offers, you want 40 grand, and you had offers coming in at 20, ma'am, I'm not going to give you 40 grand. I can tell you that right now. I know the area. Like, it's not going to make any financial sense for me. Are you negotiable on that at all? And like, I'd already taken her through the pain and everything else, and she was just like, no, not really.
So I hate the question, are you negotiable on it? I've heard my guy say, do you have any room on that number? And I hated that too.
Well, what do you like then?
It's got to be a how question. How negotiable are you on this? How much room do you have on this? Right? Are you negotiable? It's easy to say no to that question without even thinking about it. How negotiable are you on that number? Creates a space for them to think about it.
Fair enough. I like that.
So anyway, yeah. So let's go back to this lady. So what's her pain?
It's been vacant. She's had tenants in there. She's tired of paying the insurance money every month. She had it listed for 6 months last year. She couldn't get it sold. There were people breaking into the house when it was listed. The realtors would always leave the doors unlocked when it was listed. The tenants, her last tenants that were in there, had a bunch of domestic violence issues. And so the cops would always call her and tell her it happened. And then let me turn off my camera real quick. And then from there, she'd have to like fix windows because every time they got in a fight, the windows would break. I was like, oh wow, like that's got to be really stressful. And you have to drive over there every week. How does it like? And like we go into that, and like, is it costing you money? Yeah, it's costing me money. But I thought the pain was there. Like I was like, yeah, we have a solid amount of pain here. But then go ahead.
What's the pain?
It's costing her money.
That's not pain. Dude, she's just bleeding a little bit. All right, so let's go through it real quick, right? You be her.
Okay.
All right, Sharon. So you already had it listed for a realtor. Like, I mean, I'm sure the realtor was awesome.
No, the realtor was terrible.
Really? Terrible?
Yeah, it was terrible. She'd always left the doors unlocked.
Dang. She always left the door unlocked. And I don't know, did that cause any kind of problems?
Yeah, she left the doors unlocked. It would stress me out. At one point in time, someone kicked in the door and broke the door frame.
Okay. Kicked in the door, broke the door frame. And the realtor, they fixed it? They fixed it for you?
Her and her husband fixed it for me, but then the door still wouldn't close.
So the realtor fixed the door, but they didn't do a good job.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it fixed now?
No.
So people can just kind of go in and out?
I didn't go that far.
Okay. Now, have you, I see this stuff in the news where they, squatters break into properties. They don't want to leave. I don't suppose any of that kind of stuff happened.
No.
No. Okay, good. And then you had a situation with the tenants.
Mm-hmm. They moved out about a year ago.
Okay, so no more problems with tenants.
No.
Okay. So really the only thing costing you right now is you have a mortgage on this?
Nope.
Okay, so it's free and clear.
Mm-hmm.
So you just had to pay the $1,000, $2,000 every year to the city.
And insurance.
And insurance. Oh, insurance. How much is insurance?
$100 a month, a couple $100 a month.
A couple $100 a month. Okay, so at the end of the day, I mean, it's only costing you like $300, $400, or $500 a month to keep the property.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, that's not a lot of money.
I should have hit her with that one.
Okay, and it's not costing you. It's not stopping you from doing anything else.
No.
Okay, so financially, everything's great.
Man, I would not feel comfortable asking that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. So, have Has there been a time recently, Stratton, where like you wanted to go on vacation or you want to treat yourself to a nice meal? And you're like, I can't do that right now.
Jesus Christ, Steve.
So everything's fine. So you don't have to like. There's no decisions where you're like, oh, I can't do this right now because, I have this other property. Well, what would it be like, Stratton, where the next time you go to a restaurant, you can order whatever you want off the menu? Or like, your family wants to take this vacation. How great would it be to say like, yeah, let's go. Tell me about that vacation.
Okay.
We got to get emotions into this, right? Like money is not a thing. Money is a thing for you. Money is a thing for me. Like I said, we're broken, so remove us from this conversation, right?
Yeah.
Like,
but I still don't think she would budge. Like, do you think if we took it really emotional, she would have budged? Because
I don't know.
I like to be pretty straightforward with her because there's no math that's mathing in that situation.
Well, because you're only talking about that property, right? But she owns it free and clear. What could she would do with the $20,000?
Fair enough.
Right? Could she buy a car, pay down some credit card debt, pay college for the kids? Stratton, if I came over today and I gave you, let's pretend instead of meeting today, talking about buying a property or having a conversation today about buying a property. Let's just say hypothetically, you and I, we met last month. And today I came over and handed you a suitcase full of cash. What are you going to do with that money?
That's a good one.
We got to get them spending the money, right? We got to get them spending the money, picturing the holding money in their hands, right? It's the human brain cannot tell the difference between actually holding money in their hands and thinking about holding money in their hands, right? We can't get the smell, right? We can't get them to smell the money, but we can get them thinking about holding the cash in their hands.
Mm-hmm.
So what are they going to do with the money, right? Like, the problem is, the challenge you're running into is you're only talking about the house. And it's about the house, there's no emotions. But like, what's it stopping her from doing? What does she want to do that she can't do? How great is it going to be when she can do it? How much would it suck if she can't do it after she's thought about doing it?
So I really have to rewire the way she's thinking about everything. You
have to reframe. Yeah, we have to reframe everything.
I have to reframe the whole thing.
Everything needs to be reframed. Right? This goes back to your sales guys. Hey, you might want to make money. For what? You want to sell your property. For what? Like, everything has to be reframed to where they can think about how awesome it's going to be and how much things suck as it stands now. If we don't do it, like, people aren't going to take action. The reason why she's stuck is because no one's helped her to see like how much it's hurting her. No one's helped her to understand the consequences of inaction.
Yeah.
And helping her understand the consequences of inaction is just a matter of reframing the conversation.
That's good. I got hung up. What else do we need to dig in on this one? Because I got hung up today. Someone hung up on me.
I mean, that's basically it. I mean, I hope that kind of like set up some light.
That one helped a lot because I gotta dive deeper with them. I've really struggled with building rapport lately. I really have. Some people I can get it out of them. A lot of people I can't. Some of these people just don't want to open up.
Do you think that's a function of them or a function of you?
It's a function of me. And okay. I'm trying to solve for it. Because I hate bullshitting with. I feel like such a cunt. Bullshitting with them. Like, oh yeah, my mom used to do that, and it's a complete lie. Like, oh Jesus Christ.
Bro. Well, don't lie to people, right? You can exaggerate, right? Don't lie to people. But you got to be a different character, right? It's like once you're on the phones, you're a completely different human being. Your responsibility is to be the person that they need you to be, so that you can solve their problem. So it's been a long time since you've been through our training, right? But one of the things we talk about is, you're a meat suit. Your brain is not attached to that meat suit. That meat suit's got to be whoever that meat suit's got to be. You're detached from the character, right? You are controlling your character like you're playing Grand Theft Auto.
I like that.
So
I just
anyway,
want like rapport questions that I could ask, you know?
what's that?
I just want rapport questions that I could ask. Like I start to ask about their family and everything else. Generally, I can bond with someone over children. Like that's an easy one. Makes me not just like a random human over the phone.
I think rapport is overrated, though.
I think rapport is needed to get a transaction to the finish line.
I think trust needs to be developed. Rapport is overrated. Do you have to like your doctor before you agree to get surgery?
Yes.
You do?
Unless he's the absolute best. If he's the absolute best in the country, then I'll deal with him being an asshole. But I have denied working with people because I think they're an asshole. I'm like, I'm not fucking doing this.
That's fascinating. You might be more broken than I thought. You might be uncurable.
Like there's like some people I'm just like, no, bro, fuck you. I'm not doing this. And I'll work with someone who I like.
If they're completely rude, right? But like if they had no social skills whatsoever and they were just focused on your pain and you're focused on your broken ankle, your broken ankle. They're strictly focused on your broken ankle. They didn't ask you about how you're doing, how your day was. Did you find the place okay? It's like, all right, what happened? Okay. Tell me when it hurts. What do you do to hurt it? How long has it been hurting? What have you tried to fix it? Okay, look, I think it could be A, it could be B. Let's get you some x-rays, let's get an MRI, and we'll look at you in 2 weeks. Right? Go to radiology, get your x-rays, get your MRIs. Come back. Hey, all right, Stratton, looking at this, I think it's probably this. You just suck at basketball. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to operate, right? We're gonna have to operate. It's gonna be 3 weeks of rehab, and then you'll be up and running in 2 months. Right? You don't have to like the guy.
No.
For your degree of surgery.
I think you have to like.
Do you want him to ask about your wife and kids?
No.
God, it would piss me off if he was asking about my wife and kids. Like, let's get to the order at hand here.
But not everybody is like us.
Not everybody's like us. But my point is that that's true. You could be right. But I would go back to you don't go to the doctor or dentist or lawyer or whatever based off how much you like them. Financial advisor.
Okay, I have a lawyer who I refuse to use because I thought he was an asshole. And everyone's like, he's the best in town. I get on the phone with him. It was like fucking pulling teeth to talk to him. I was like, I'm not fucking using you. And I went to a different attorney.
If they're an asshole, it's one thing, right? But I'm just saying, like, if you didn't have a good rapport, right? Like, an asshole is like negative rapport. I'm just saying rapport could be zero. Rapport could be zero as long as you demonstrate you're competent and understand their world.
Okay.
Right? Do you think, this is another example, right? Chris Voss, we all cite him a lot, right? Do you think the hostage takers liked him when they agreed to release the hostages? Or do you think
I think they liked him and they trusted him, yes.
Okay.
When he gets there to that point, there is a legitimate relationship built with that other person.
There's a relationship built off of trust, not rapport.
I think you still have to have like some type of rapport, dude.
Okay.
It's what gets it to the finish line. It's what helps you get better deals. You got to have something there, and then God forbid you have to go back and renegotiate. You're not going back and renegotiating without some rapport.
I did that Sunday. Asked for a 31K price drop.
Did you get it?
She's writing me a check to go away. Okay, I'll take that. I didn't get the price drop, but she's writing me a check for 12K.
Okay, that's not a bad outcome.
So I was like, damn, that's a good outcome. Right? But she trusted me. She didn't like me. At least I don't know if she likes me. It's relevant. Turns out she Googled me. So I thought that was interesting. It's like, hey, I saw that you own apartments. Like, oh yeah.
All right. I got Q out of Orlando, Anthony Quezada's brother and partner. Still got to build rapport. Rapport is not asking how your day or wife is. Rapport is understanding the client's feelings and understand ideas to communicate. That builds trust. No one trusts anyone when your phone says spam call. Very true. Rapport builds trust.
Yeah, I said that's just trust. I look at rapport as that phony stuff.
Like the bullshit.
Hey, I see you're a jazz fan. That doesn't say jazz. I don't even know what that says in your hat. Fuddruckers, maybe? Whatever it says on your hat, right?
It says Elkridge. This is my boy's company.
Oh, okay. But it looks kind of like the jazz logo, right? But I came in. I come in as like, hey, I see you're a jazz fan. Hi, man, like they had a good, start of the season. I think they've got a good foundation. You're like, dude, just talk about the house.
I did have a dude just when I was asking him paying questions, he said, just ask me about the house. Like he just shut me down completely the other day.
Yeah.
That one sucked.
It did suck.
But if you think about it, out of the thousands of calls I've made over the last month, I've only had one dude like completely like, no, that this isn't important.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about that. Well,
so he didn't think it was important, but did you frame it how it was important?
I was talking to him about his job. He was a musician who's moving to New Zealand, and he wanted to sell a house in East St. Louis that he'd owned forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was asking him because I was genuinely curious about his music career.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Can we just talk about the house?" I was like, "Oh man,
yeah,
what?"
Yeah, he didn't want to.
To where I've never had somebody not be interested in talking about themselves.
That is weird, but still, I think that goes back to like the report, right? I think that's the sales industry is not very well regarded, and we got a lot of resistance, right? I was actually writing a script out this morning, for Facebook, and it was, and I'm gonna fix it. My coach beat it up, but it was like, look, customers are smarter than ever before. They know what you're doing when you ask, when you say a good question. They know what you're doing when you say, I understand exactly how you feel. Other people felt the same way. And they understand what you're doing when you say, I understand. So like they're over it. They're over salespeople. So what you got to do, you have to approach the conversation a different way. And that goes back to like, our sales process.
I had a dude today hang up on me when I said anything that's not a yes or a no, I'm just going to take it as a no. Is that okay? He was like, what? I was like, can you just promise you're not going to do it? Think it over. He was like, no, bye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then he hung up.
Okay. Did that suck?
Not really. I mean, some of the people we deal with are fucking nuts.
They are, right? But like someone might hear that and say, oh, well, the sales process doesn't work if you say that, right? I would argue you're dealing with a tire kicker who's not ready to do something and not motivated today.
Maybe. And because like I am always because for me, someone who says they're not open to do anything today, that's just a guard they're putting up.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I mean, if it's a no right now, that's fine. But we're still just going to take you through the call and see how it goes. And then I'll still convert it later on.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and still like push it forward. And then I'll just refuse to give them an offer if at the end of the call there's absolutely like zero urgency. I'd be like, hey, honestly, when it makes sense, we'll make you an offer. But if you're not trying to sell right now, there's no reason for us to give you an offer.
Yeah. And I think that's fine. And so, yeah, I mean, you guys, and the other thing too is you got to remember everyone's crazy, right? Everyone goes like, people are unpredictable. And so if someone is a jerk today, they might be nice tomorrow. Someone's nice today can be a jerk tomorrow. Because we've had that with sellers, right? Like we've talked to them, it's like, man, like everything's great. You call them tomorrow, it's like, who is this person?
Yeah.
So don't take it personal because they could just be having a bad day. They could have just had a fight with their wife. They could have, I don't know, have their OnlyFans account deleted. I don't know. Like anything and everything's possible, right?
Yeah.
So you just have to remember, like, don't take it personal and that they could be a completely different human being when you talk to them tomorrow.
Yeah. And so I just put him on a drip. I was like, what did I say? I was like, did I say something to offend you? He was like, nope. It's a think it over. So it's a no. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I guess you could say he's a tire kicker.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, when you talk to people and they sound kind of manic, he felt like one of those.
Yeah, so just call him again.
Oh, we'll call him again tomorrow. All right, so you got to get better at rewiring and reframing people's brains. Is one of them, because like we've had a solid conversion rate as of late. Of the people we can actually get a hold of, I think right now we're at. Let me double check. We have active leads 154, over 100 that we can't get a hold of. That we're just like working on.
Out of how many?
We have 65 warm leads. And that's probably people who've gotten offers, and then we kicked the ball forward. We have 134 dead leads. I'd say 75 of those were the retail ones. Because anybody who gets an offer, if like we're only a little bit off, to me that's a warm lead.
100%.
That's 100% a warm lead. Like, let's just like, hey, honestly, like, let's just talk again in 30 days, and like we can kick the ball down the road, put them on a drip, and more than likely we'll convert
You're
that
close
person.
on a cash offer?
Huh?
You're close on a cash offer?
Yeah. And now, so I'm just gonna start listing everything on the MLS.
Yeah. So I say, like, why not do installment or innovations?
I'm not even gonna do innovations. I'm just gonna list it on the MLS.
As a realtor?
Using Homecoin, and them. Who is it? My friend Matthew. You know Matthew Simmons?
Yeah, in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, every single one of his properties is listed on the MLS, and he just has it in his agreement.
Yeah, but that's part of his innovations.
It's not even an innovation.
What is the mechanism to list on MLS?
Homecoin.
Elaborate.
I'm just gonna use Homecoin to flat fee list it.
Okay, to list it, but are you the buyer and you have permission to list it on MLS?
Yeah, we have permission to list it in our agreement.
And then what happens when you bring in a buyer?
We just assign it.
Okay. So then you're limited to cash transactions, or how are you going to get financing?
We could do a novation. Well, we could do like a different type of one if we wanted to do a novation. I'm going through a novations course right now to get good at it and like get the pitch down.
The pitch is easy.
That would be the next step. I just want to get these things done faster.
What the hell is the pitch? What are you trying to get better in the pitch? Let me hear your innovations pitch.
I was like, oh yeah, I don't even have it down, bro. Honestly, I was like, Q's on the call. I was gonna bring him on and talk to him about it because I was gonna JV with Rich, and I was like, if I JV with him and then I have to pay Lead Zolo our lead split, there's no fucking money in it. Like you might as well just learn the skill and take it in house.
So,
what's the novation pitch I should use?
Let me pitch you. Ready?
Yep.
All right, Stratton. So, it sounds like it's really important to you to walk away with $250,000. Okay. Well, unfortunately, to give you 250, I can't pay cash. Not at that price.
Okay.
What if there's another way I can get you $250,000?
Okay. What would that look like?
I just need some time.
How much
some
time?
access. It could be as much as 90, 120 days. Could be faster. Could be a little longer.
What are the odds of it going that much longer?
I can't give you a number specifically, like what the odds are. I mean, it can really literally go either way.
I'd be open to it.
Okay. So all I need you to do is just sign some paperwork right now. Sign some paperwork in a few days. And then, in the next 2-3 months, so you're gonna get a call from title about how you're gonna collect your money.
Okay.
Great.
And then you don't even go into detail with them on it?
After the signed contract.
After the signed contract, you're like, okay, now we're going to list your house on the MLS.
Well, here are the next steps.
All right, so go over next steps with me. We just signed.
All right. So we sign. Okay, great. So all we got to do here, the next few steps is you're going to get a phone call from so and so. We're going to have to, I mean, it all depends whether they're moving out or not, right? So you're going to get a call. We're going to take some pictures. We're going to put a sign in the yard, right? We're going to have some people coming through. In our experience, it could be, 10 people, it could be 30 people coming through. But at the end of the day, we'll be able to give you the 250,000 that you need.
I guess I just have a limiting belief of people being like, why don't I just work with a realtor?
You could work with a realtor. So let's do that.
Well, why wouldn't I just work with a realtor?
You could work with a realtor.
Okay, I'm just going to go work with a realtor then.
When you asked me to come over today, I mean, what were you hoping that will be different?
I was hoping I could get my money faster.
Okay. But you're okay with getting it in 90 days?
Yes.
Okay. So you could go with a realtor. So when you go with a realtor and, some repairs are required, maybe the buyer needs whether a new AC unit or a new roof or whatever, we don't know. But if they do, is your realtor going to pay for that?
No.
Oh, okay. But they would sit there and deal with the contractors as the contractor came over to do all the work.
No.
But they'd at least be able to arrange and, take it completely off your hands.
Yes.
Okay. So they can handle everything as far as dealing with the contractors, but you would have to sit there and supervise the work, and you would have to come out of pocket $12,000.
Yes.
Okay. And that's not a problem.
It kind of is, yes.
Okay. So then how's going with a realtor an option?
So that's what I'm missing. In these novations, we're more than likely going to have to drop 10 grand.
I don't know what we're going to drop. It could be $2,000. It could be $1,000. It could be 10. I haven't
because like that's what I was missing. Because I was like, it just doesn't make sense of why someone would do it.
Yeah, because you have your own limiting belief.
I guess so. Not I guess so. I know so. Because
Yeah.
that's like what I was like trying to get through. Like, bro, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because again, right, we're different. We have no problems dealing with realtors, right? Like the realtor says, hey, we need to do this. Okay, do it. Like, why are you calling me? Right? But most people find the entire transaction stressful. Listing with a realtor, having people coming through their home, having to think about repairs, having to think about how am I going to get these repairs done? Am I going to deal with the appraisal? Okay, I got to deal with, is the loan going to get approved? Loan not going to get approved? Like, there's a lot of things that they can't handle that stress. Most of the people can. Most of the people can. The people that reach out to us, 50-50.
Okay. Q said, I like to say to the agent response, awesome, then we should work together. You'll get all the benefits of a realtor, but I cover repairs and make sure your home sells.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's true. Yeah, like I'll pay for the repairs.
So that works. You can tell them the benefits. But I have found it's easier if you ask them the questions and then they tell us our benefits.
And then you're on the same page.
Now we're on the same page. This is their idea. Oh, yeah, they don't want to pay for these things. Great. So if I say I can pay for these things, like, yeah, not say it doesn't work, right? Because it definitely works. So obviously, Q's having success. But it's one thing to say, hey, Stratton, let me tell you what I can do for you. Versus like, hey, Stratton, like, how are you hoping I can help? Oh, so if I can do A, B, and C, you be satisfied? Great.
Steve, do you have any comments on your Instagram? Have you even checked? I've had a bunch of people coming in on mine.
Yeah, we got rapport is a likeness to people familiar, but it's not trust. Rapport is everything. As a cop, I've never. Yeah, so Nick strongly disagree. I would never get confession or get someone open without it. I do think investigating a criminal is slightly different. I would like to try that too. I like Nick. Nick is great. He's the only person I know that's ever wholesaled a Taco Bell. He made $150K on that. So when you want someone more able to listen and learn than like me, yeah, exactly what Rudy said. You want people that will listen and not people like us. Magnolia Homeover says, yeah, the Ivy League dudes shall rise. It's so hard to find good people. I'd be more lenient to keep the right people in the right seats. So
I don't believe in saying it's hard to find good people. I feel like if you speak that over yourself, it'll make your life harder. I feel like you're just prepared for the amount of work that goes into finding the right ones.
I would say the work to find good people is more than whatever, but I'd also say it's incredibly worthwhile. I wouldn't do it any other way.
Yeah.
Right. So I got to jump onto something else. I hope this is helpful for the people that are watching.
I think this was a very, very vast call. Very helpful for me.
Yeah. We got to get our mindset right. We got to get our brain right.
All right. Thank you, Steve-O. Guys, we'll see you next week. Thank you again, Steve.
All right. See ya.